Do you know a wild tale about a doctor who turned the world of medicine into a dark, twisted marketplace? This isn't your average crime story. It's a roller coaster of greed, desperation, and a global syndicate that preyed on the vulnerable. Welcome to The Doctor Who Ran an Illegal Kidney Market, the global organ trafficking syndicate. If you're into history, crime, and the shady underbelly of human nature, buckle up. This one's for you. Picture this, a world where people are so desperate for a second chance at life that they'll pay anything for it. And on the flip side, folks so broke, they're willing to sell a piece of themselves. Literally. That's where our story begins, in the shadows of a system that's supposed to save lives, but sometimes ends up trading them instead. We're talking about organ trafficking, a crime so sneaky and widespread, it's like something out of a spy movie. But this isn't fiction. It's real, it's messy, and it's been happening for decades. Let's set the stage. Organ transplants are a miracle of modern science.
How much would you pay to save your life?
Both men paid over $200,000 in order to obtain kidneys.
It's a sizable amount of money.
Back in 1954, a guy named Joseph Murray pulled off the first successful kidney transplant in Boston. A twin donated to his brother, and at work, history was made. Fast forward to today, and thousands of people get new organs every year. Kidneys, livers, hearts, you name it. But here's the catch. There's never enough to go around. Right now, in the United States alone, over 100,000 people are waiting for an organ. Some wait years, some never make it. And that gap between the folks who need organs and the ones available creates a perfect storm for something sinister to grow. Enter the black market. See, while most of us think of hospitals as places of healing, there's a darker side where money talks louder than ethics. The World Health Organization says about 10% of all transplants worldwide, around 10,000 a year, are done illegally. That's one every hour. Kidneys are the hot ticket because you can live with just one, and they're easier to move than, say, a heart. On the street, a kidney can fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $200,000, depending on who's buying and who's selling. It's a goldmine for criminals, and a nightmare for the poor souls caught in the middle. Now, let's meet the man at the heart of our story. His name's Amit Kumar, a doctor from India who took this shadowy trade and turned it into an empire. Amit wasn't your typical villain twirling a mustache in a dark alley. No, he was smooth, smart, and knew how to play the game. Born in the bustling city of Mumbai, he trained as a doctor, specializing in kidneys. Sounds noble, right? Helping people with kidney failure should have been his legacy. But somewhere along the way, Amit saw an opportunity, not to save lives, but to cash in on them. By the late 1990s, Amit had ditched the white coat for a different kind of operation. He started small, connecting rich patients with poor donors in India. See, India back then was a hotspot for this kind of thing. The country had top-notch hospitals, skilled surgeons, and a huge population of people living on next to nothing. Perfect recipe for a kidney racket. A desperate farmer could sell his kidney for $300, a fortune for him, while Amit would turn around and charge a wealthy buyer $50,000. The math worked out beautifully for everyone except the guy left with a scar and a single kidney. Center of his operation. His crew wasn't just a handful of shady middlemen. It included doctors, nurses, even lab techs. They'd lure in donors with promises of jobs or cash, then lock them up until it was time to cut.
After what he did to us, says Shakil, this man ought to be put to death. Others fear Kumar will never face trial. Even if he's arrested, I worry after a couple of months this will all be hushed up, says Mohammed. This is nothing new. It's an age-old story here in India.
Here's how it worked. Say you're a laborer from a village in Uttar Pradesh, a poor state next to Delhi. You've got a family to feed, debts piling up, and no way out. One day, a guy shows up, maybe one of Amit's recruiters, offering you work in the city. You're hopeful, so you go along. Next thing you know, you're in a locked room, getting blood tests you didn't sign up for. Then they tell you the truth. You're not here for a job. You're here to give up a kidney. Some agreed out of desperation. Others, they didn't get a choice. Drugged, strapped down, and sliced open. On the other end were the buyers. Rich folks from the US, Canada, Greece, Saudi Arabia, people who couldn't wait years on a transplant list. They'd fly into India, check into fancy hotels, and head to Amit's clinic. The surgeries were slick, done in private operating rooms with all the bells and whistles. These weren't back alley hacks, they were real transplants, just illegal as hell. The buyers paid big, sometimes over $100,000, and flew home with a new kidney, none the wiser about the guy who'd been forced to give it up. Amit's operation was a machine. Between 1998 and 2008, police reckon he oversaw 600 transplants. That's hundreds of kidneys swapped for cash, all under the radar. He had fake paperwork to make it look legit, forged donor consent forms saying the seller was a relative of the buyer. Indian law banned organ sales, but Amit didn't care. He greased palms, paid off cops, and kept the wheels turning. His brother Jeevan helped run the show, and a guy named Upendra Agarwal, another doctor, handled the medical side. Together, they were untouchable, or so they thought. The cracks started showing in 2008. Locals in a town called Mordabad got suspicious. People were disappearing, coming back with scars and wild stories.
Well, NDTV's Poonam Agarwal did find find him and filmed him on hidden camera as she accompanied a man who pretended he needed a kidney. Poonam was still finishing this investigative story when the raids were carried out.
We charge 15 lakh rupees and we do in Kathmandu.
Kathmandu? Not here.
No.
Word reached the police, and on January 24th, they raided Amit's setup in Gurgaon. What they found was straight out of a horror movie. 5 donors locked in a guest house, waiting for surgery. Cops nabbed a U.S. couple and some Greek patients mid-deal. Amit, though, he was gone, slipped away before the handcuffs came out. The raid blew the lid off everything. Headlines screamed about the kidney kingpin. The Indian Medical Association freaked out, launching probes. Cops dug deeper and found Amit's fingerprints all over. Not just in Gurgaon, but in Delhi, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra. He'd been busted before 3 times, but always bailed out with bribes. Let's zoom out. Amit wasn't the only player in this game. Organ trafficking's a global beast. In Egypt, migrants sell kidneys to pay smugglers for a boat to Europe. In Pakistan, villages are full of guys missing an organ, tricked by brokers. China's been accused of harvesting organs from prisoners. The Philippines, Turkey, Kosovo, all hotspots where the poor get carved up for the rich. The WHO says it's a billion-dollar industry and it's growing. Wars, poverty, corruption, they're the fuel keeping it alive. Take Sudan, 2023. Wars tearing the country apart and people are fleeing. Brokers swoop in, promising safe passage if you give up a kidney. Or Nepal, where 35,000 folks a year get trafficked, some for labor, some for organs. One village had 150 victims, but only 3 spoke up. Fear's a powerful gag. Then there's the Netcare case in South Africa. 109 illegal transplants at a fancy hospital, 5 from kids. The company paid a fine, but the surgeons claimed they didn't know. Back to Amit's story. It's not just about one guy. It's about a system that lets this happen. See, the demand's insane. In the US, you might wait 4 years for a kidney. In the UK, 2 or 3. People die waiting. So the rich turn to transplant tourism, fly somewhere, buy an organ, come home. It's illegal everywhere but Iran, where they've got a regulated market. Everywhere else, it's a free-for-all. Brokers, doctors, even cops, they're all in on it, splitting profits while the donors get crumbs. What about the victims? Guys like Santosh from Nepal, he got $4,500, but now he faints all the time, can't work. Or Dolwit in Egypt, promised $5,000, woke up in pain, got nothing. These aren't happy endings. Donors face infections, kidney failure, even death. In Moldova, 5 sellers died after botched surgeries. And the buyers, they're not off the hook. Illegal organs can bring hepatitis, rejection, guilt. So why is this still a thing? Enforcement's weak. Laws exist, but governments don't care enough. Cops bust the little guys, recruiters, donors, but the masterminds? They're ghosts. Take Amit's case. 600 transplants, and he's the only big name locked up. The hospitals kept running. The trade's too slick. Fake IDs, shell companies, surgeries at night. It's a hydra. Cut off one head, another grows. Could it stop? Maybe. Some say legalize it. Regulate sales like Iran does. Others push for more donations. Get folks to sign up when they die. Doctors could report shady cases, but they're scared of lawsuits. Tech's helping. Hotlines in Egypt and India link victims to help. But the root? Poverty and desperation. Fix that, and the market dries up. Until then, it's a grim cycle. Amit Kumar's tale is a window into this mess. A doctor who went rogue, built an empire, and crashed hard. But he's just one piece. The syndicate's still out there, cutting deals in the dark. History shows us greed doesn't quit, and crime adapts. From the first transplant in '54 to today's black market, this is humanity at its best and worst. Saving lives, trading lives, all in the same breath. What's next? That's up to us, to shine a light or let the shadows grow. Stay curious, folks. This world's full of stories, and not all of them end well. That was it. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.